Welcome back, everybody. This is My Journey 4K. We are back in IMSA in the Dallara P217. Let's get into it. Starting really close to the hypercar field today. Looks like we're starting the race in 6th place. Strength of the field today is a 30-31. We're coming into this race with an 1186 rating. Looks like we have a run on this car in front of us. We're going to be side by side early. We are clear, it looks like. Sort of looked like they tried to dive on the inside. A lot of smoke, a BMW to the inside, going slow. They're going to have a few cars to pass before they get to us again. This is a 35-minute race. Ooh, big crash up ahead. Lots of cars damaged there. More cars behind us crashing. Looks like the cars behind us is going to touch that hypercar side by side. We've got a run on the car in front of us who was in 2nd place when it started. This is just lap 1 right now. Blue BMW going to the outside of us. Going to force us hard to the inside there. See if we can't get a good exit. This is IMSA fixed setup. So there's very few options in the setup to change. It's a 35-minute race. We'll need to stop once for fuel. To see what place we're in when we cross the line. Hypercars are in between right now. Looks like 5th. Car behind flashing their lights. Very similar paint scheme with the car in front. Not exactly the same though. We have the black front end. With the number 39. Currently up to 5th place. Started the race in 6th. Pretty strong field today with the 3,000 average. Decent amount of points on the board for us. Gonna be looking for a strong finish here. Car behind is really close right now. We're not going defensive. They're gonna peek in a little bit there. Last time through here there was a big crash. Don't see anything this time. I don't know if that had anything to do with the LMP2 cars starting close to the hypercars. I don't think so. It looked like quite a few hypercars got into each other. Then they were also in the mix with us, but just a slight touch it looked like. We're going a little extra wide in that corner, trying to get as much speed as we can get. Open up the gap to the car behind. They're still right on our tail. Looks like maybe we're taking a slightly defensive line, not going outside as far as we could. They are going to touch us in the back and get us a little sideways, it looks like. We did lose that position back to 6th now. Quite an aggressive move. Let's see how much damage we took. You can see a little bit there. Possible they took more damage to the front end, although I don't see a lot. Seems like we took most of the damage there. Still right on their tail, not letting them go. We may have a run on them here in their draft. We'll see if we try and do anything. Maybe try and go side by side on the normal racing line. Or at least trying to get some more speed up. Car behind catching us now. Pretty tight grouping here. Ooh, a BMW hypercar looking to try and catch us. We're taking an inside tight defensive line there. Hypercar isn't moving super quickly. I'd imagine they could catch us rather quickly if they needed to. 6th place, defending from 7th at the moment. 5th place is starting to get away from us. We're still right there though. Just a fraction of a second behind. The BMW is finally catching us through these corners. Probably gonna get by us soon. Inside line. I should have an okay exit. That did open up the gap to the car behind just a slight bit. It's going to slow the car in front of us down, trying to go side by side through the chicane. Maybe we can get another opportunity here. So some really close racing. Car in front not getting away from us. Ooh, some car spun behind. That might have been the car that was right behind us. So the pressure from that is now gone. Green and blue car behind. Maybe that's yellow. Still keeping the pressure up to this black and gray with the teal stripe. LMP2 car. This is the battle for 5th. Still a pretty close battle. We're at 2:06.9 that last lap because of the hypercar passing us. It slowed us down that much. Possibly having to defend from the car behind slowed us up a little bit too. We are now all over 5th place. I'm gonna look to try and get a run somewhere. We're gonna take the curb a little bit more than they will. In their draft, coming out of the corner. It's probably only 1 or 2/10 of a second gap here. We might have a run on them into the bus stop chicane. A little bit of damage to the back end of our car there. We're going to slow it up a little bit early. Trying to take an inside line. We might have the better exit on this corner. We can get them on the inside of turn 1. We can see some hypercars dealing with the cars in front of us at the moment. That BMW is still trying to get by. We are going side by side, locking it up. Gonna go wide. We lost some time there. Didn't make that move stick. Lost a little time to the car in front now. Almost had it though. Had we not locked it up there, we probably could have made that pass. A little over 9 minutes in the race. Still plenty of time to get by this guy. Catch him and pass. Car behind had closed the gap a little bit there. We're going to go defensive. I'm going to try and go to the inside. We'll see. Yep, something happened where we lost some time. Gonna have to let that car go just for now. I'm gonna stay right on him. Fell down to 7th now. We're just gonna call that green, dark blue green car LMP2 in front of us. We've got a run on them. We're all over their tail. You can see it from the cockpit now. They're gonna try and go to the outside here, forcing them to the inside. Going side by side here into the bus stop chicane. They're gonna go a little wide. Try and do a crossover move on us maybe. We do have the pass at the moment. They're still on our tail. We're gonna have to get a good run into and out of turn 1. We made that one work. Didn't go too wide. Back up to 5th now. Or 6th, sorry. We fell to 7th place. Back up to 6th. Looking to chase down 5th now. We may have to worry about being a little bit defensive. Not sure yet. We've got an okay little bit of a gap here. Depends who's faster and where. Oh, we got a little squirrely there. Lost a little bit of control, tiny bit of time that allowed them to close it back up. We were going really defensive. We did block them and stay in front. We may have taken a little more damage back there. Not sure if they touched us or not. I don't think so. We're going to stay in front for now. You can see 5th place just in front of us there, not too far off. Few second gap though. It's going to take us a little time to close that back up. I think we know we've got some damage now. Pit window should be open. We might be pulling in this lap. See if we can't get those repairs done and pick up the pace a little bit more. We did take some damage to the back end when the car in front of us forcibly passed us by getting our car loose by touching the back corner. Whoa, got a little lost control there in the chicane. Spun around. Pulling out of the way into the grass. This is probably where we pull into the pits. There we go. Lost a few places from that. Probably gonna cross the line. Looks like 11th place. Coming to the pits. The hypercar in front of us is very damaged. Doesn't have a front end or a tire there. Looks like we're going to take fuel only this time. Coming out of the pits, should have that repairs done. Looks like we're finishing our pit stop. Came in 11th. We were in 6th, but spun it. Lost one position immediately because we were battling and trying to hold off 7th place. A few more cars went by as we were turning around. An unusual place for us to lose control there and spin around. Almost really did a full spin there too. Probably trying to come in too fast. Didn't help the tires, which we are double stinting. Hopefully it didn't lose us too much time. You can see, looks like the damage has been fixed. Most of it anyways. Tiny little bit of paint stuff there, but car should be back up to speed. Plenty of time to go, just over 15 minutes into the race. We have 20 minutes left in our 35-minute race, so we ought to be able to pick up the pace now. Pretty clear track in front and behind. It'll be a couple laps before we start to see traffic. Hypercars might start to catch us if they haven't pitted yet. But if they do pit, it'll be several laps before we see them. I think a good strategy for the hypercars, if they can, is to start pitting when they start to see LMP2 traffic. Looks like overall in our class we're 12th. We'll have to see if that updates again. We could just cross the line. 12th in our class currently. We started the race in 6th. But we have completed our pit stop. Took a fuel only pit stop. Seemed pretty quick. Got a little damage repair. We should be fast again. Tires were already warmed up when we came out. They do slightly cool down during the pit stop, but they quickly come back up to full temp. This is multi-class racing. We have hypercars, LMP2s, and GT3s. We're in the LMP2 class. Hypercars are going to be several seconds a lap faster than us. So if we take pit stops early, we will see them in a few laps if they have not taken theirs yet. Pit window is open for everyone. 2:30 is our out lap there. We know we lost some time due to the spin right before our pit stop. That probably heated up the tires a bit extra, so sitting in pit lane allowed them to cool down a little bit. Pretty clear track still in front and behind. To see what kind of a lap we ran now. Fairly clean lap. .206 flat. Back up to speed. LMP2 cars coming out of the pits. We have 2 of them. Not sure how far behind they were when we started. That should be 10th place now out of the ones that we've seen. We'll have to see where we stand when we cross the line again. It is probably about the time where the LMP2 cars are catching the GT3s. At least the leaders would be. It's usually a good time to pull into the pits to reopen up that gap if we can. Maybe give the GT3s a little time to spread out. At least a second gap to the car behind. They also have another car behind them, and it looks like the hypercar's starting to catch us. We could see them just turning the corner behind us. You can see the hypercar starting to catch the car 2 cars back. They're going to pull into the pits. Like I said, right as they catch the LMP2 field, looks like it's now. A lot of them are going to pull in and take their pit stops. A little over 20 minutes into the race. Another LMP2 car coming out of the pits. We're going to be side by side with them. We have the run. And we are in front. not taking, well, a little bit of a defensive line here. Gonna see what they do. Looks like we are up to 8th when we crossed the line, but we passed another car, I think. So we could be back up to 7th. Started the race in 6th. We pulled into the pits around 6th place. GT3 car just ahead. We're going to flash our lights. We ought to be able to get by here. We've opened up the gap to the car behind enough that the GT3 car is going to slow them up here and make it an even larger gap, it looks like. Still just under a second to the car behind. Looked like they had pulled in 5th place when they did. We'll have to see what place we're in when we cross the line here. Coming up here. Don't see any other GT3s in front of us at the moment. Some cars pulling into the pits behind us. Looks like hypercars now. We are back up to 6th place. Getting a little sideways coming out of turn 1. You can see one car in front of us there. Feeling pretty good about that pit stop and the run that we've got going so far. Back up to 6th. That is what we started in. We fell to 11th, maybe 12th. An issue coming out of the chicane right before the pits. I think maybe we weren't going to make our stop right then and there. But since we spun the card, we decided to pull in. This white and blue LMP2 car behind us is still pretty close. A few tenths of a gap at the moment. That may change when we start to catch traffic. You can see one car in front of us there, not quite sure what it is. It looks like a GT3 though. We built up a decent little gap in there coming out of that corner now. About a second gap it looks like. It's possible the 34 car behind us made a slight mistake. Car says we're in 6th. Should update now. Crossing the line. Still in 6th. It looks like it may be an LMP2 car in front of us there. Hard to tell, they're a bit far ahead at the moment. Just barely getting around the corners as we're seeing them. That is an LMP2 car. That's the gray and black one that hit us in the back corner, I think. To send us a little off track or get us squirrely enough to get by. It is a few second gap to them at the moment. We'll see if we can't close that. Got a little over or a little under 10 minutes to go now. Overall, it should be more than. How many laps we do will depend on where the leader is when time expires. The leader would be in the hypercar class. Opening up the gap to the car behind a little bit. I think it's still about a second or a little more than. I don't know if we have the pace to close down the kind of gap we have to the car in front without them making a mistake. 10 minutes remain. Still have a decent run, fairly clean track in front of us. Not too many GT3 cars that we've seen. We should almost certainly be catching the pack. There are some coming out of the pits. That could be why we don't see a whole lot of them. Great news for us though, it's a nice clear track. It looked like about a 3-second gap to the car in front. About a second and a half to the car behind. Car in front is catching some GT3 traffic. It might be slowing them down. Could be closing the gap to that car now that it is 5th place in front of us. We are several seconds closer than last lap. BMW GT3 just in front of us now. Should be able to get a decent time to get by them. See when we choose to make the pass here. Hopefully we're staying full speed so we don't lose that time that we gained. I'm wondering if we'll be seeing the hypercars again soon. Oh, the car behind lost control and hit the wall. There's an Acura there. There is an LMP2 car back there, but not much of a worry for us anymore. GT3 car coming out of the pits. We should have no problem staying in front of them. You can see the Acura hypercar back there. Says we're still 6th in class, chasing down this gray car in front of us. A large gap to the car behind now. The car that was behind us just a few seconds back lost control and hit the wall. It's going to take them some time to correct that and get back on the track. This is most likely the leader of the race here. With just about 6 minutes remaining in the race, we might get a good idea of when and where they are when time expires. We'll see if we can keep up at least enough to see them now and then in the next couple of laps. Although it is going to be hard to keep up with the hypercar. I don't see anybody else really behind us. Pretty quiet back there. Just under 5 minutes remain in the race. Pit window should be closed or closing soon. There's another BMW hypercar coming out of the chicane now. The Acura is just getting by the LMP2 car in front of us. Looks like we may have closed that gap just a little bit more. Still in 6th. Started the race in 6th. BMW hypercar starting to catch us down the Kemmel Straight. They will not catch us by the end though. Probably gonna have to wait for all of these curves ahead before they can catch and pass. We're going a little wide on that exit, trying to get it keep as much speed as possible. We can see the car in front of us and know we can pick up the pace. We're closing in on them. Another BMW behind us. The second place BMW just got by. Doesn't look like they slowed us up too much. We'll see if that still applies to the car in front. Another BMW starting to catch behind now. BMW is probably going to catch us by turn 1 up here. You can see the Cadillac hypercar behind with an LMP2 car in the mix there. You can really see that LMP2 car in front of us much better now. This BMW should be able to get by here. Hopefully they don't slow us up. Maybe they did slightly. I'm going to try and stay in their draft to make that up. That is the LMP2 car in 5th place, just in front of us there. Oh no! Locked it up, went off track a little bit. Lost a little bit of time there, not a position. But that means closing in on 5th is getting harder. The car behind is a yellow Cadillac. Not in our class, so we're not going to need to defend from them or anything. At least that off track didn't lose us too much time, I think. We were able to get back on track fairly quickly. Pushing it so hard right now. You can see the tire marks we're putting down on the track. That bright green car back there is another Cadillac. At least it looks like it. Yes, and the yellow Cadillac getting just underneath us there, not allowing us to take the full race line. And we can see that green Cadillac behind starting to catch. The second car behind us is an LMP2 car, it looks like blue and yellow or something like that. You can see that tiny bit of damage in the back end. Not sure where that fully came from. We did get repairs. It didn't look that bad before. That is the white flag waving. This will be the last lap. Time will expire shortly. 6th in class. Hopefully we can keep it clean now. The LMP2 car behind us is a decent amount behind. A lot of hypercars back there. Trying to get by the LMP2 car. Battling, it looked like, maybe side by side. Looks like a couple BMWs back there, nose to tail. Oh, Porsche and BMW. Time has expired. This is the last lap. We're currently 6th in class. Started the race in 6th. Couple hypercars are catching us now. They are battling. We're going to want to stay out of the way of this. This is not our battle. I'm going to stay to the left. Porsche's already gone around trying to use us as a block. We're going to let the BMW by. We probably slowed it up just a little bit there. Looks like that's okay though. Well, I'm not sure when and where it happened, but it looks like we finished the race in 6th place. Well, we actually finished 5th, it says, in the results. So we started in 6th, finished in 5th. Our rating went from an 1186. We gained 59 points. We're up to a 1245 now. It's a 1.2K. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.